I've been to Baghdad and back. I kind of snuck in, with no notice to the U.S. military. They didn't know I was there.
Just get us all together.
A few dozen of our troops discovered I was in country, but the top brass at Central Command were clueless. And I didn't go with any of these big professional video cameras, no. I went with a couple of these small handy cams, and I'll apologize in advance for some of the camera work because I didn't want to be any more of a target than I already was. I was there for 10 days, not 10 hours, not 2.5 hours, 10 days. And I went to meet this man. He is Genghis Khan Elkadiri, and he was traveling to Baghdad to offer his help and advice to the coalition government.
money.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I got my new hat. What's your name? What's his name?
Ali.
Ali?
Ali, yes.
I got my new hat from Ali. What do they call this hat?
الغطرة وعقال. شماغ وعقال.
Schmalz? What is it?
شماغ وعقال عراقي.
Schmag Ragal.
Yes.
All right. I got a Schmag Ragal. You have a gun. Are you afraid for your life?
Not good. Yes.
Is it good?
Yes.
Yeah. Those will give you energy.
Yes.
Energy.
To do work.
You good?
Yes.
تعطيك القوة حتى تسوي شغلك.
Get back to your work. Get back to your work.
Yes.
They don't want to do anything, just begging. So it's something very easy to get money.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm trying to advise them why you can work, you can. For example,
that kid's working.
he's good, he's working, but there's other kids. They are sniffing.
So that used to be Saddam Hussein's picture, huh?
This is me. I'm a reporter. My name is Scotty Berrett. Here I am on the border between the peaceful kingdom of Jordan, about to cross into the war-torn U.S.-occupied Iraq.
I see no U.S. troops. All right, I'm gonna make a decision. I'm gonna bring this camera down. Move down here.
And because there were no U.S. troops in sight, I had to make a decision about my identity.
صباح الخير. سؤالك عندي. بريتش؟ Welcome.
Thank you. We're through. Do we have another checkpoint up here? No more checkpoints? Okay, we're finally in Iraq, officially. And there we go. How did I get here? Well, it all began more than 6 months ago when I met this man, Genghis Khan Elkadiri. Yeah, that's his name, Genghis Khan.
So much of his name. His brothers and sisters were all named after warriors, strong figures, and he's every bit Genghis Khan in every sense of the word.
Jennifer Khalil is Khan's second oldest daughter. He lives in this compound in a wealthy suburb of Houston, the Elkadiri family compound.
Let's go. Okay, let's go. pay this thing immediately. Otherwise, if we happen to leave the country, they'll have a warrant for your arrest. There's a parking ticket.
Two of his other daughters, Sarah and Mimi, Mimi is the one who got the tickets.
Two the same day at the same place. That's how bad they are.
What was bad for this family, events unfolding in Iraq. Genghis Khan's family has deep roots in his homeland. His father was the governor of Baghdad. His family was part of the aristocracy of Iraq. And it isn't just these recent events, the Second War and occupation, because even before the first Gulf War, Genghis Khan actually worked for the Hussein government as their general trade agent.
Iraq's business all mostly done with Houston, because all the oil equipment, I used to ship all the oil equipment from Houston to Iraq, from Halliburton, from Otis Engineering, from everyone.
And not just oil equipment.
We used to ship all the GM cars to Iraq. I shipped 10,000 units in one time.
In fact, Genghis Khan says his company shipped everything to Iraq that came from the United States and Canada.
And also the rice, all the rice we used to buy from here.
Rice, food.
Oh yeah, food, rice. We used to buy all the rice grown in Texas.
It was his latest shipment of food to Iraq back in 1992 that created the dilemma. After the first Gulf War, Khan's company was effectively put out of business by the trade sanctions.
Yeah, and I checked with the FBI. How can we help out? They said you can send food, but you can't send money.
It was money that caused this latest shipment, worth more than $1 million, to get hijacked by Saddam, because the Iraqi dinar took a big dive in value against the US dollar.
The dollar goes up and the local currency goes down. Saddam didn't like that exchange rate. So he felt that they are selling the goods to the general public very expensive. He decided to make an example out of the merchants, the first-class merchants, by hanging one member of each one's family, just like that. Our customer was one of these guys. He got hanged before we had a chance to collect our money, and they confiscated everything he and the others have in their warehouses. We can't ask Saddam's government, the Iraq government, to give us the money because that'll put our family in jeopardy.
What do you think of your dad going to Baghdad?
I think he's a brave person. He'll do a good job.
For his two daughters, Sarah and Zainab, they're obviously not happy about the job their father is embarking on.
Just want him to come back safe and sound. Successful.
So it was off to Baghdad for Genghis Khan Elkadiri.
Don't be confused, Daddy will take care of everything. I will not tell you what it is now until I come to some sort of agreement with the American government to help out. Because every time what I say is going to take place and somebody else gets the credit for it.
Go ahead. Charlie, this is Mr. Khan. I'm still in Jordan. I haven't gone yet. I still have paperwork to do, and I will call you before I leave. Definitely, I will let you know so you can come and we can go together.
But he sounded discouraged, so I flew off to meet him.
Give me the money,
Iraqi money?
Yeah, and
Okay. How much do you need? Hold on. Yeah. Huh?
No, small.
These ones?
Yeah. Only check. This is
So here I was, bribing border guards and slipping into Iraq via Jordan.
6 checkpoints. We saw a refugee camp, and we found Saddam. There's his picture. Oh boy, that was nerve-wracking. Any moment we could have been sent back. And now it's on Baghdad. Looks a lot like West Texas.
It looks like West Texas. I mean, maybe that's why George W. invaded. He liked reminded him of his home state. My driver, Ali, doesn't speak a bit of English, so we tried to communicate as best we could. I guess there are no traffic cops out here to give you a speeding ticket, right? No speeding tickets.
Speeding?
Yeah, no speeding tickets.
No.
No tickets. The safest means of transportation from Jordan into Baghdad is along this highway. Well, Saddam really built good roads. Look, there's a rest stop. The road is riddled with signs of war, and travelers along this highway are a frequent target of so-called Alibabas, thieves. The thieves know this is the main route for cash into Iraq by corporations keeping their workers funded and fed. So the best defense against these thieves is speed. I keep looking at that speedometer. 160, 170, 180 clicks. That's 100, 120, 100. That's fast. And running along with our convoy of white GMC semi-armored Suburbans, this small white car with armed guards inside, hired by our drivers. Sort of traveling in tight formation, huh? We passed truck after truck, supplies headed for the wounded capital city of Baghdad, passing several bridges that had been bombed during the invasion, along makeshift side roads through the desert. Boy, a lot of trucks going into Baghdad. Look at this. Passing trucks left and right on this road. And these fuel convoys, guarded heavily by U.S. troop transports. Ironic that a nation that could produce 17 billion in crude oil a year must now rely on these type of fuel deliveries to stay mobile. And because of the Alibabas robbing travelers along this road, the Iraqi police have set up these checkpoints.
Hi. صاحبي. صاحبي. صور الدبابات يوم اجاني شكوات من الامريكان.
Thank you. Glad you guys are here. That's comforting, huh? As we drove into the so-called Sunni Triangle, the danger increased because this is where there is roadside gunfire on a daily basis from those who are still loyal to the Ba'ath Party. Next stop, the palace, where Genghis Khan tries to sell his services and collect a big check, $1.253 million, plus interest to be exact.
First, the people that loved America, they thought America was coming here to liberate them, and they were received as liberators. 1 week, 10 days later, they realized this is not liberation, it's occupation.